Hi, creative friends. This is Soraya, and thank you so much for being here. So I'm just going to dive right in, and I left this alone for a couple of days, and I'm so glad I did because now that I have come back to it, I have a brand new perspective. I still want to get out my viewfinder and just see what I'm loving, what I'm really uncertain about, what I'm going to get rid of. And just so I just want to reiterate, I started my first layers and I was, I just did my first layers and I thought it was fine. I came back to it thinking I was going into my second layers, but then I wasn't happy with what I had done. The orange was too toned down for me, so I ended up doing another video which was still my first layers video. And so now I am coming in, and so this would probably be my middle layers. But I just want to urge you that if you don't know what to do or if you're uncertain, a lot of times it helps to just leave things alone for a day or a week or whatever it takes. And when you come back, you will have a fresh perspective on your painting, and it's just really helped me out a lot doing that, just being patient and leaving it alone. So I'm just going to take a look here, and it's very chaotic. There's just a lot of stuff going on, but I'm really loving a lot of this painting. Now, it doesn't all work together because, like I said, there's just a lot going on, but I am already beginning to see how I can turn this into my figures. So I have my blue Stabilo pencil here, and right off the bat, I'm seeing a face over here. And so I'm just going to sketch my figure in. And I'm not sure if I want to do 2 figures or 3 figures. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to take a look at my space and kind of composition here. Okay. That's one of the things I love about the Stabilo pencil is if you don't like a mark or a figure or, something you're drawing, you can simply erase it. I mean, there's many reasons to love the Stabilo, but that's one of my main ones is it's just so easy to get rid of the lines. And so I'm not sure that there's room for another figure in here. It's gonna look pretty cramped. So what I might do is add just a circle over here, which might turn into a sun or a moon, or just to balance things out. That's besides the fact that I love circles and I love suns and moons, it's just a good design and composition element. So now I have 3 images on the page because 2 would just seem, to me, it would seem just a little too boring. It's just like I like odd numbers. So whether I, keep the hair or get rid of it at the end or, do some other element, I'm just gonna make some hair so that way when I do the background, I can retain, pieces of the background for our hair if I choose to keep it or go that way. Now I don't know if I can make hair over here because there is that sun, so I'm gonna see what I can do here. Maybe like I could make, I don't know, like a headdress, or like a very kind of a smaller hair over here. So, okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to use my chalk paint in Cashew and ink, and I'm going to make a gray because there's a lot of vibrant colors here. So I need to tone down the background, and I'm going to add like a gray. That's just a really good way for me to, you know, make the colors that are on here pop, and also to make the figures push forward, because it's going to unify the page, and I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So I'm not sure if I want like a light gray or a dark gray. I don't know yet, but I guess I'll figure it out. Okay, so what I want to do is just kind of go in here and make the background. Now I'm probably going to keep a little bit of the background, like I wanted to show through, maybe, you know, just for some interest, but I don't want too much of it to show through because that's just going to be very distracting. And so keep in mind that if you cover something up, it's very hard, if not impossible, to get it back. But if you let something show through, you can always cover it up later. So I like to err on the side of caution and, you know, just retain things. Like I'm going to retain this little piece over here, and I can always cover it up later. But if I cover it up and I want to get that piece back, I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'm just going to fill in the background, and you can see immediately, oh, I love that pop of pink there. And you can see immediately how by me putting in the background, it's making the figures pop, and it's toning down all the chaos, and it's unifying the painting. So again, I'm just going to kind of work really quickly and cover all this up. And this is just, you know, the first layer of my background. So when it dries, I can always come in with a second coat and flatten it out even more. So I'm going to keep some of this pink over here just for interest. This is a gorgeous gray, by the way. It's so rich and lush. And it really makes the colors pop by contrast because it is such a neutral gray. So now I'm done with that, and I am going to figure out what to do with the bottom part here, like the dresses or the robes. I don't want to leave it like that. I think I'm liking the neck being like all patterny and kind of abstract, but I'm not sure. I think I need to kind of like pull this together. So what I want to do is go for like a peachy kind of a color, which I get a really gorgeous peach color by mixing this whole vein with a cadmium red light, and I end up getting like a super beautiful rich deep peach color. So I think I'm gonna mix this up here. And I think for the faces, I want to just go the traditional way and, you know, put my Liquitex ink. Now, I do want to keep this red part because I'm just really loving it. So I'm going to try to incorporate that into the face somehow. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but I'm really loving that pop of red. So as you can see, I'm mixing this up here, and I might need to add a little more pink, but I just get this gorgeous, luscious peachy color. And so I think I'm gonna cover up most of the dress and make it a solid color just to tone it down, because there's way too much going on here still. So that's a bit more orangey than I want. Color is a really tricky thing. Sometimes I think I figured out a color combination, or, you know, I think I figured out a couple of colors that work really well together to make a beautiful shade, and then I try doing it and I can't replicate it. It's really strange. Okay, so I think there we go. Now I'm really loving that kind of peachy color. So I want to retain some interest, but for the most part, I want to flatten things out. And I think I'm going to keep this part over here because it just gives it some interest, and I don't think it's too distracting. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave that alone. And I'm not sure about here, but I think I want to go with a red. I think that's kind of what I'm feeling for this dress over here. So I am going to mix a red here. And again, I want to keep a little bit of the variation, but I want to cover most of it up. So I think I'm going to cover all this up here. And so I'm probably going to come back in and, you know, do some more stuff, but for right now, I'm happy with, you know, that I'm happy that I've toned this down and pushed this back quite a bit. So I'm just going to leave that alone, and I'm going to work on the faces here. So let me see. So I'm going to get my Liquitex Burnt Sienna, and I'm going to just apply it to the base right here. And like I said, I want to keep that red because I'm just loving that pop of red. Now, I don't know how I'm going to incorporate that into the base, but maybe I can, I don't know. I don't know yet. Okay, so I'm gonna have to get rid of some of this red, but I don't want to. So I'm gonna keep it for now. Because like I said, you know, if I cover it up, I can't get that back, but if I leave it, I can always cover it up later. So we're gonna go like so, and I'm actually really liking the way that this page has transformed just in this one layer, because I've made the figures stand out, I've unified the page, I've calmed things down, and so it's, you know, it's far from over, but I'm happy with the direction that it is going in. So if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.